Hello explorers, this is Venom with Exiled Existence, and this is my list of 10 tips and tricks for the Pathfinder update. Keep in mind, I've done this video, this includes the 1.22 patch that's come out today. Today being March 13th, 2017. Okay, so these are my first 10 tips and tricks for you. First and foremost, one of the biggest things for this patch, how to own multiple ships. So, if you don't own a freighter, you need to buy one, because the only way to own multiple ships is to purchase ships that land on your freighter. Now, when you purchase these ships, you will get the option of trading it in for your old one, or just purchasing it and adding it to your collection. If you add it to your collection, it stays right there in your hangar with the rest of your ships. If you decide to just trade it in, the cost of your ship is subtracted from the new ship. So if your old ship costs more than your new ship does, it's free. Now, what if you want to scavenge ships? That brings us on to tip number 2, how to snag scavenge ships. Now, a lot of people are upset because you can't just scavenge ships or get them from the station and bring them over to your freighter. However, if you buy extremely cheap ships that land on your freighter, you can then take those ships and then go and trade them in for whatever other ship you want. For example, let's say I buy a ship that costs less than $1 million, and I want to go check out a transmission tower signal. I find a ship that I want, I can then just trade that cheap ship for that one. So if you're going to go out looking for new ships, make sure you bring a really cheap one with you. That way you can bring back the one you want. Speaking of cheap ships, tip number 3, no black hole damage. So, are you tired of having random and expensive systems getting destroyed after going through a black hole? Well, after you warp to a black hole, call in your freighter and then hop into one of your cheap ships. Take that ship through the hole instead. That way, it takes the damage instead of your main ship. Still on the subject of ships, tip number 4, transmission signals. Now, we were all upset when they got rid of transmission signals being scannable from on-world bases. However, all that useless junk you've been finding, all those effigies and stuff, save them. Aliens will give you transmission codes in exchange for effigies, along with nanite clusters and faction affinity, and other bonuses. Each bonus depends on what artifact you have. After you give them one artifact or one item, it'll cycle through. But essentially, there is the option to get a signal from an alien. So all those screen, effigies and knives you've been finding, start stacking those up, because now you can use those to look for ships. Now, buggy on an alien planet. Now, when Pathfinder first came out, there was, I'm not sure if it was a bug or they forgot to add it in, but you could not use your buggy on an alien planet, only on your home planet. Well, they've since fixed that in the 1.22 update. Now, when you're on an alien planet, just like you could build a save point or a signal booster, you can now build your buggy platform. So, bring your items to build your buggy, go to an alien planet, land, build it. You can now use your buggy on that alien planet instead of having to run around. This makes traveling around new planets a lot easier. Now, number 6, upgrades. Can you not find the upgrades you want? I know personally I had serious issues trying to find the warp reactor upgrades. There are 2 ways to get upgrades. First and foremost, Polo. Not at Polo, okay? It was a Polo or Pogo, one of the two, the short little bastard, okay? Polo actually has a set loot table every time you go to him. This includes every warp drive upgrade. The last one and the very last loot table item he has is a Theta upgrade, which, by the way, you need to get full scans of 10 planets to get that one. So, by the way, a full scan is all the creatures on a planet, not all the planets. So, once you get all of those, make sure you upload it. You can only upload it and get credit for it when you're on a planet. So, you're going to want to make sure you get 10 planet scan. That way you can get the Theta warp drive. Other than that, you can now buy blueprints for weapons, exosuit, and your ship from space stations. So every time you go to a new space station, there's going to be a blueprint shop. The blueprint shop will have 5 random blueprints you can buy for nanite clusters. Nanite clusters are the new currency in No Man's Sky. Speaking of which, weapons. Your multi-tool and ship now have new weapon modes as well. These are not just replacers like the previous modules used to be. Okay? You can now have 3, 4, even 5 different weapon modes on your ship and multi-tool. As of right now, I haven't discovered all the weapons, but it looks like there's about 5 for each. Okay? These include new weapons such as the Cyclotron Ballista for your ship and the Pulse Spitter for your pulse rifle, or for your multi-tool. Make sure you gather up all those nanite clusters and check those station shops. That brings us to number 8, the nanite clusters. Were you tired of getting random blueprints you already had every time you talked to an alien or you checked one of those multi-tool stations? Now, instead of giving blueprints, most gifts and stations and pods will give out nanite clusters instead, which is again the new currency for No Man's Sky. Abandoned buildings, smoking equipment pods, aliens, blueprint dispensers, all these give out clusters, as well as some of the pods that the Sentinels drop. Now, as for those pirates among you, cargo ships also carry large amounts of nanite clusters since these also count as a resource. They are actually a held item. You can easily walk away with 1,000 clusters after a good battle, so gear up and go to raid those ships. Now, number 9. This one gets into the realm of potential bugs, but you're going to want to jump on this as soon as possible, and there's still a lot more testing to be done on this. Now, you think freighter prices are based off of slot numbers? Well, that may have been the intent, but as of right now, just make sure you visit all the freighters you can, because I've noticed a phenomenon where occasionally freighters seem to cost roughly 1/10 what they normally would. Now, I actually bought my first freighter during this Pathfinder update. It was a 15 slotter, and it cost me less than 700,000. I later upgraded it to 16 slot for I think 500,000, and then upgraded that one later to a 17 slotter for free. I just got a new one today that is a 34 slot. The trade-in for it was 1 million, exactly 1 million. Now, I'm not sure if this is a bug or if saving the freighter first is what causes this discount. I've tested it, and so far it would seem to be the case. However, it doesn't seem to be the case every time. So every time I've found this discount or the free upgrade, it's always been after I save the freighter. Again, this is going to take more testing. I'll be doing this in the future, and I'll let you know. But if you're looking for freighters, make sure you go out and you visit every freighter, because you may be surprised at what you find. Fine, number 10, naming your ships. That's right, you can now name your ships, guys. And not only that, you can name your freighter gets a name. Your vehicles get a name. Even your multi-tool gets a name. Everything gets a name. Just about. So guys, that's my 10 official tips and tricks as of right now. A couple of common questions I answer real quick that I've kind of noticed around the internet. First off, for owning multiple ships, when you purchase a new freighter, people have been worried about what happens to the ships you buy. Worry not. When you buy your freighter, your ships won't be there at first. However, once you call your freighter in, your ships will be in your bay. So, as soon as you get your new freighter, just fly out of it real quick, call the freighter right back in, and all your ships will be in there. They transfer right over. Let's see. For the blueprints, your standing with each race helps a lot with buying new blueprints, because some of them are locked until you hit a certain rank. I happen to be at max rank with all of the factions when I started again, so that helped out a lot because I can buy anything I want to now. But if you've been kind of ignoring one, or you've been attacking them and letting it decrease, you're going to want to increase those again to at least you get all the blueprints that you want. Finally, the Pathfinder patch, which just came out today, fixed a few issues. One, again, not being able to build your vehicles on an alien planet. There were a couple other issues where apparently the vehicle mining lasers were not using any energy. I played around with it pretty much all weekend, and it didn't cost any energy. Now it does. So you've got to recharge your mining laser on your vehicles now. It's balanced. It should have cost energy before, but they fixed that. And they've also added in the material customization when building your bases too. One of the things that they advertised was that you can now make your base out of different materials, different looks, kind of make it look like wood or that kind of stuff. They've added that in with this patch 1.22. Again, I'm not sure they forgot to put it in or if it wasn't ready, but they've gone ahead and patched it in. So, again, those are my 10 tips and tricks for the Pathfinder update. Go ahead and please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or have any other information, please leave your comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this video, and thank you guys for coming by.